St. Luke. His day, actually to be remembered, is October 18th, but because he's our patronal saint, that is to say he's our namesake, we need to make sure we work him in on a Sunday. So here's his Sunday. And it's a great thing to celebrate. There's not a lot known, actually, about Luke. Of course, you know that he wrote one of our 4 Gospels. He also, by the way, wrote the book of Acts. Somewhere, they think around 60 or 70 AD. It's also believed that Luke was a Gentile, not a Jew, and as such, the only Gentile to write any of the 4 Gospels. Based upon sort of the quality of his writing, it's thought that Luke grew up in an affluent and highly educated household. And it's known that Luke followed Paul quite closely, going with him on a number of trips, including the most dangerous and harrowing trip into Rome. It's actually from Paul that we get the notion that Luke might have been a physician, because in one of Paul's writings he refers to him as my faithful physician. But that's kind of it. That's kind of all that we know about Luke. There are, however, a number of things about Luke's Gospel that I think are different and unique from the other Gospels, and they're worth sort of talking about. First and foremost, at the heart of Luke's Gospel is this sense of Christ's love in particular for those who are on the margins, those who in some way are broken and in need of healing. And the way Jesus is portrayed as making a clear statement that for those people first, the kingdom of God will bring about the healing. The kingdom of God will bring about a reversal of fortune. So that notion of care and concern for those that are in pain is sort of at the heart of Luke's version of the gospel. There's some other themes that kind of run through the gospel as well. First of all, it is that discipleship, that is to follow Jesus, should be about compassion and gratitude. Second of all, it was that if we were blessed with money, and Luke has Jesus talking about money more than any of the other gospels, then the purpose of that money is to care for those who are struggling. Luke was clear about that. And thirdly, Luke, more than any of the other Gospels, really celebrated the faithfulness of women. Women had a more prominent place in Luke's Gospel than any of the other Gospels. That's why it is in Luke's Gospel that we get that beautiful song from Mary, which we call in our tradition the Magnificat, where once she's told that she is about to give birth to Jesus, she says, "My soul magnifies the Lord." Women are seen as being the most faithful examples and followers of Jesus' love. There's some other parables that are unique to Luke versus the other 3 or 4. There's the parable of the Good Samaritan. There's the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, where the rich man dies and begs that Lazarus goes and tells his brothers, "Whoa, don't do what I did." And then there's the parable, which is sometimes called the rich fool, where again a rich man he's so fortunate on this world that he has so much stuff he keeps on building bigger and bigger silos. Kind of like bigger and bigger houses and garages. Only after storing all his stuff up, he dies, and quite literally there's a line in some translations where essentially the angel comes to him and says, "You stupid fool." That always makes me chuckle. Anyhow, those are some of the parables that are specific to Luke. Let me assure you that there's no quiz on this. You will receive communion whether you remember any of this or not. But I think it's good to kind of know a little bit about our patron saint. And I also think that this gives us occasion not only to think about our patron saint in Luke, but also to think about who we are as Saint Luke's. And that's where I want to turn your attentions next. I love being up here in the auditorium because it allows us to do some things differently. And if this is not your first rodeo with me, then perhaps you know where I'm going. What I want to invite you to do in just a moment is to get into groups of about 5, okay? Turn your chairs into groups of about 5. And I want you to think about this question. In the same way that I've told you a little bit about how St. Luke was particular and different, I want you to think about how St. Luke's, that is to say, this church, is different, is unique from any other community or perhaps even any other church that you've been a part of. Let me say that again, and let me be clear, if you have been here for 5 minutes, maybe you've noticed a thing or two. If you've been here for 5 years, hopefully you've noticed a thing or two. If you've been here for 50 years, well, God bless you. But no matter how long you've been here, and no matter how old you are, I hope and I believe that you have something to contribute to this. So the question is this. What have you noticed, what have you experienced where you would say, this is what made St. Luke's unique or different from other communities, whether they be secular or religious, that I have been a part of? Does that make sense?
Sure.
What makes St. Luke's different or unique? Okay, so get into groups of about 5. I actually, as much as I love to keep families together, want to encourage you to perhaps separate from those whom you are most actively on. Question I want to invite you to consider. So this Sunday isn't only Sunday to celebrate our patronal feast day. It also is the Sunday that we are kicking off our 2019 commitment campaign. Hopefully you noticed these beautiful banners, about which I'll say more in a little bit. But this is the time when we really invite you to consider what makes St. Luke's special, different, and unique, and how you might be a part of that both in your practice and your activities throughout the week, and also in terms of your ability to give financial support. And so here's the question that I want to ask you to consider in your small groups again, and it's this, okay? What makes your giving to St. Luke's different or unique from any other secular or other institution to which you might give? What makes your giving to St. Luke's unique? Now, I admit that there's a presupposition there, which is, I believe your giving here is unique. I believe it is. But I don't believe there's only one reason or one answer to that question. So take just a few more minutes back with your group, or if you get tired of your group, you can go elsewhere, I guess. No, kidding. So go back to your group and talk about what makes your giving to St. Luke's different from your giving to any other institution that you might support. Okay? How about it for a few more minutes? Back forward again. So say, just shout out, when you were talking about what makes St. Luke's different from other communities that you might be a part of, what were some of the things either you said yourself or that you heard someone else say in the group? So can you just kind of shout it out and get done? Outreach, good, yeah, inclusive. Inclusive, what else? Welcoming, thanks, what else? Family, thanks.
Short and good sermon.
What's that?
Short and good sermon.
Short and good sermon. The power of suggestion. Accessible. Accessible, great, what else?
Music.
What's that? Music, thank you. What else?
Q&A sermon.
The Q&A sermons. All right, awesome. What else?
Grounded in faith.
Grounded in faith. Okay. Family. Comfort.
We're the only one who got Father Ducky, Father Tim, and Deacon Christine.
Well, there we go. See, they were working up here. And they had a stenographer. Sarah.
Multi-generational worship and multi-generational mission.
Great. Multi-generational worship and multi-generational mission.
30 or more page leaflets.
30 or more pages. Yes. Anything else? Betsy. Joy. Do you know, by the way, that the Gospel of Luke, that joy was a particularly sort of profound emotion that runs through the Gospel of Luke, and one of the other ways it's referred to is the Gospel of joy. So it's good that we live into that. Thank you.
Godly play.
Godly play. Yeah.
With food.
What's that?
With food.
Good food. That's the Episcopal way. That's something. Okay. All right. So now let me ask you that second question. Because, you know, I know that you're getting asked to give to one thing or another all the time. But I think that there is a particular nature to giving as Christians, to giving as participants in a faith community. And I guess I'd love to hear your thoughts about that as well. So what makes your giving to St. Luke's different from your giving to other entities? What did you come up with around that? You know where our money's being spent. With me. In fact, others might prefer that. All right, thanks, John. You know where our money is being spent. Yes?
The trust that we have in living here and knowing that the money is going to go to not only people here and keep the church going, which is great, but also it goes to other places around Rhode Island that need help. And it's not, we just don't, we see it.
Right.
What all of us are doing, and so it's good.
So you said that's so important. So many parts of what you said. First of all, you use the word trust. And second of all, that you see where it's going, kind of like what John was saying, and it not only goes to benefit internally, to benefit St. Luke's, which of course it does, and we thank you, but it also goes to do work to care for people, to bring the gospel to life for people in Rhode Island and beyond. Every dollar that you give goes in that direction or goes to this experience here. And I'm glad that you trust that, because that's the truth. What else?
St. Luke's is our own, and it's easy to care for something that you own.
Yeah. So you have real ownership here. Right. Yes. Thank you. What else? Yes.
Well, in the sense of what she was saying about the monies going out for the extending of the gospel, we're continually challenged and taught to take the gospel out with us. And so supporting that growth in all of us is important too.
So the gospel is a part of this, isn't it? And you're challenged to sort of figure out how to internalize that and then to figure out what to do with it. Right? I mean, look, I am so grateful that there are these other entities, nonprofits, secular, and even with religious orientations that are doing the work of the gospel. I don't think in any way we have a corner on the market here. But what I do know is even though I can have a conversation with Jesus on the beach, even though I can find God elsewhere, when I come here, Jesus is right here in the midst of us, and I am comforted or challenged. I am warmed. I am supported. I am lifted up by the company I keep with you all, and by the sense that whether we have come from different tables, it's the same Jesus. Whether we come with different hungers, it's the same Jesus. Whether we come for different blessings, it's the same Jesus. Whether we come from different journeys, it's the same Jesus. Whether we come and celebrate in different venues, it's the same Jesus. Whether we have different voices or not, it's the same Jesus. And when we come with different faces, it's in all of those faces that we see the one and the true and the same Jesus. And in my experience, there's no other place where I can find that and where I can support that besides St. Louis. Yes, ma'am.
I agree with everything you said, but I want to make a little addition.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's, there are many people who work in secular organizations. Some of them are even atheists. My own daughter is, and she works at Things to the Phone.
Right.
You know, and I want to acknowledge them too, because I think somehow they have a spirit that they kill me as the spirit of Jesus, so I won't. But a spirit very similar to what we see here. And I like the way we're intertwined with many of these organizations. That's all I want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our world's a better place because of those organizations, because of the people that are working in those organizations. But what I hope and pray is at the center of our gathering, it is at the center of our worship, it is at the center of all that we do, is Jesus. Because that's what makes this place unique. And then we've got these kids that are so great. As if on cue, here they are. Many faces, many children, same Jesus. Can I get an amen from the congregation? Amen. Amen. Here we go. Would you please stand and let us continue with the word?